Alright, today we are dividing decimals by whole numbers. This is going to go on 2 pages. So we're going to be on page 25 and on page 26. And we want to make sure that we put our label at the top of page 25. And that is dividing decimals by whole numbers. Alright, so we kind of go through the process as we're looking at our steps. The problem that they give us is 6 54/100 divided by 12. So we want to remember that when we set up our equation, the first number in line is the first in the house. I always say the first number you see goes inside the box. So 6 54/100 goes inside of your division box. Step 2 is to take your decimal straight up. Okay? So it's right here between 5 and 6. And you want to take it straight up between 5 and 6. Now divide. Multiply, subtract, and bring down. Just like you did in elementary school. Some of you might have had the reminder. Remember, dad, mother, sister, brother. That's just something to help you. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Okay, so I want to look at 12. Can it go into 6? No. So I'm going to put a 0. Can 12 go into 65? Yes, it can go in there 5 times. 5 times 12 gives me 60. And I want to remind you, the neater your numbers are, staying under each number, the better you will be. 5 minus 0 is 5. 6 minus 6 is nothing. Bring down your 4. Can 12 go into 54? Yes, it can go in there 4 times. 4 times 12 is 48. Subtract that, and we get 6. Now, step number 4 says if there is a remainder, which we have, add a 0 to your dividend. So I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. I'm also going to extend my house a little bit so that I have somewhere to put my number. 12 goes into 60 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60. Subtract, and we get 0. So our answer to our problem is 0 and 545 thousandths. Now I can check that by using multiplication. Multiply the divisor and the quotient, then add your remainder. It should equal your dividend. Okay, so this was our answer. This 545 thousandths, and 12 is our divisor. So if we multiply those together, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 5 is 10. Bring down a 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. Add it together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 5 is 14. 1 plus 0 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. We had 1, 2, 3 numbers behind a decimal. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3 numbers back behind the decimal. Is our dividend 6 540 thousandths? Yes, it is. That is exactly what we had inside of our box. So we know that we have gotten the correct answer. Starting out, it is very important that you check your answer every time, just to make sure, just until you build your confidence and you know that you're getting it right. Okay, so the first one we have is 8 4/10 divided by 2. So they've put 8 4/10 in our house for us. Take your decimal straight up. 2 can go into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract that, I get 0. Bring down my 4. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract and I get 0. So our answer is 4 2/10. I can check that by multiplying 4 2/10 by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. We had one number behind our decimal, so one number back behind our decimal. Does this number match this number? It does. So we know that we have done it correctly. Okay. First thing we do, take your decimal straight up. 8 cannot go into 7, but 8 can go into 78. It'll go in there 9 times. 9 times 8 is 72. Subtract that, we get 6. Bring down your 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract that, we get 4. Bring down your 4. 8 can go into 44 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract that, we get 4. Now we cannot have a remainder, so I'm going to add a 0, extend my house, bring the 0 down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract that, we get 0. So our answer is 9 755 thousandths. We could check that by multiplying 9 755 thousandths by 8, but we have run out of room, so we're going to skip our checking. Next, we have 2 4/10 divided by 3. 2 4/10 goes inside the house. Take your decimal straight up. 3 cannot go into 2, so we're going to put a 0 there. 3 can go into 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract that, and we get 0. So our answer is 8/10. We can check that by multiplying 8/10 by 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. We had one number behind a decimal, so we put one number back behind the decimal. Does this number match this number? It does, so we know we've done it correctly. Last example. 3 6/10 divided by 12. Take your decimal straight up. 12 cannot go into 3, so we're going to put a 0 there. 12 can go into 36 3 times. 3 times 12 is 36. 36 minus 36 is 0. We don't want a remainder. That's what we've got. So our answer is 3/10. I can multiply 3/10 and 12 to see if I've gotten the correct answer. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. We had one number behind a decimal, so we put one number back behind our decimal. 3.6 is the number we started out with. So we know that we have done this correctly. And that's how we divide decimals by whole numbers.